Hi, I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week comes from Danielle and Mike Demarest, who are having some trouble with 3 well-established red oaks in their backyard. For the past several years, one has struggled, barely has any leaves at all, and is just overall stunted. An arborist ruled out oak wilt, but didn't have any other real answers. Danielle and Mike further report that when they bought their home several years ago, the soil around the trees was covered with weed barrier and pea gravel. Since we didn't see any obvious signs of disease or insect problems, we consulted Paul Johnson with the Texas Forest Service. On this one, who also expressed his expert opinion that there were no evidence in the photos of any particular pest damage. With the background information regarding the weed barrier and pea gravel around the trees early in their history, Paul noted that soil compaction and other soil root issues, such as girdling roots, are most likely the underlying causes for this tree's decline. Although potentially but less likely, herbicide damage or the late stages of bacterial leaf scorch could also be at play. Unfortunately, this situation provides an opportunity to point out that our first thought when we notice struggling plants is to assume a disease or insect issue. That's a natural inclination since we want to believe that we can potentially address those issues and remedy the situation, thus saving the plant and getting it back on track. But more often than not, environmental issues that are difficult if not impossible to control, especially when we inherit an older landscape, are at the root of the problem. Danielle and Mike also say that they've removed the pea, gravel, and the weed barrier and replaced them with wood mulch to hopefully alleviate the issue. A great first step, and I must commend you for correctly diagnosing the most likely problem and taking the best possible course of action to potentially remedy the situation. If the tree's not too far gone, one other step that might help would be to aerate the soil around your trees with an air spade. But you need to hire an arborist to perform that service, and it's not a guarantee of success, so I'd suggest that you consult several companies before you go to such an expense. Our plant this week is tropical bromeliads for containers. You'll most often find these plants for sale among the houseplants, but they most definitely belong outdoors. They prefer very bright light, and many can take our intense summer sunlight, but be careful to acclimate them first, with only a few hours of full sun exposure per day for the first few weeks. And if you place them in full sun, be prepared to water your containers more often. That's not usually too hard, since most bromeliads are shallow-rooted and very happy in small containers, which you can keep close at hand on porches or patio tables. If your porch is protected, staying fairly warm and bright through the winter, you can leave potentially your bromeliad outdoors year-round. But on cold nights or longer cold spells, a greenhouse would be best, although they can tolerate short periods in the brightest window of your home. Be careful not to overwater or pamper these beautiful tropical species, as they virtually thrive on neglect. Your patience with their slow growth habit will be rewarded with beautiful floral displays unlike any other in your garden. If you're looking for something a bit different for seasonal interests or outdoor centerpieces, there's no better species than tropical bromeliads. Our viewer pictures of the week are from 2 enterprising gardeners that just go to show that Texans can figure out anything. Hellebores, also known as Lenten roses, typically don't grow here in Central Texas, preferring much colder winters and much cooler summers. But in Kerrville, Natalie Volmar has been growing them for years. And inspiring my extreme jealousy, Ann Wilson sends evidence that peonies can bloom in Austin. After years and years of no blooms, she has 2 following a winter with no freezes. We'd love to hear from you, so please visit us at klru.org/ctg to send us questions and photos from your garden.